Welcome to Liverpool fans. Today we've got the latest updates of your beloved club Liverpool. But before we dive in, make sure to subscribe so you never miss a moment of breaking news. Let's get started. Ibrahima Konaté's future at Liverpool has reached a decisive and increasingly fragile moment, with growing indications that the French defender could leave the club during the January transfer window. While no final destination has yet been confirmed, the situation around his contract, coupled with strong interest from Europe's elite, has created an atmosphere of inevitability rather than speculation. Among the clubs monitoring developments most closely, Real Madrid have emerged as the side showing the clearest and most consistent interest, positioning themselves as a likely destination should Liverpool formally open the door to his departure. Konaté arrived at Anfield with enormous promise, viewed as the long-term defensive partner for Virgil van Dijk and a cornerstone of Liverpool's future backline. When fit, he has justified that reputation with performances built on pace, physical dominance, and composure in high-pressure matches. However, his time at Liverpool has been punctuated by recurring injuries, contractual uncertainty, and a growing disconnect between player expectations and club planning. As January progresses, those tensions are no longer being contained behind closed doors. At the heart of the issue is Konaté's contract situation. With his current deal entering its final stages and no breakthrough reached in negotiations, Liverpool face a strategic dilemma they have been keen to avoid in recent years. The defender is understood to believe his performances place him among the elite central defenders in European football, and he is seeking a salary that reflects that status. Liverpool, operating within a carefully controlled wage structure, have so far been unwilling to meet those demands. The result has been a prolonged stalemate that now threatens to turn into a full separation. Liverpool's hierarchy are acutely aware of the risk. Allowing a player of Konaté's value to run down his contract would be a financial blow and a sporting gamble. January, therefore, represents the last realistic window in which the club could retain some control over the situation. While Liverpool would prefer to keep Konaté until the summer or beyond, the possibility of losing him for nothing has forced difficult conversations at board level. Behind the scenes, there is a growing acceptance that Konaté himself may be ready for a new challenge. Sources close to the player suggest he feels his development has reached a plateau at Liverpool, partly due to injury interruptions and partly due to uncertainty surrounding the club's long-term defensive structure. With Virgil van Dijk entering the latter stages of his career and Liverpool undergoing a broader transitional phase, Konaté is believed to be assessing whether his ambitions align with the club's current trajectory. This is where Real Madrid enter the picture. While no formal offer has yet been submitted, Madrid's interest is long-standing and serious. The Spanish giants have been tracking Konaté for several seasons, viewing him as a natural successor within their evolving defensive unit. His age, athletic profile, and experience at the highest level of European football fit perfectly with Real Madrid's recruitment strategy, which prioritizes players capable of dominating for the next decade rather than short-term solutions. For Konaté, the appeal is obvious. Real Madrid represents stability, prestige, and a consistent platform for competing at the very highest level. The opportunity to play at the Santiago Bernabeu, challenge for the Champions League every season, and establish himself in a defence built around long-term planning is difficult to ignore. Madrid's willingness to meet his contractual expectations further strengthens their position, even if timing and negotiation complexities remain unresolved. From Liverpool's perspective, the situation is deeply uncomfortable. Konaté is not a player they want to lose, particularly in January when replacements are scarce and expensive. Yet the club's recent history shows a clear pattern of avoiding emotional decisions in favour of financial and sporting sustainability. If it becomes clear that Konaté will not commit his future, Liverpool may decide that a January exit, even an imperfect one, is preferable to prolonged uncertainty. The dressing room impact cannot be ignored. Konaté is a respected figure within the squad, and his potential departure would be felt immediately. However, Liverpool's leadership believes clarity is better than hesitation. Allowing speculation to linger could destabilise the group at a critical point in the season, particularly with defensive depth already under strain. As things stand, Konaté's next destination remains unresolved. Real Madrid may be the frontrunners, but the complexity of a January deal, combined with Liverpool's reluctance to strengthen a European rival mid-season, means nothing is guaranteed. Other clubs remain attentive, waiting to see if Liverpool formally sign. As Liverpool prepare to face Marseille in what has become a night loaded with consequence, the sense of uncertainty around Arne Slot's future has reached a breaking point. This is no longer a match defined purely by tactics or qualification scenarios. It is a moment that could decide the direction of the club for years to come. Within Anfield's corridors, the message is increasingly clear. If Slot fails to deliver victory tonight, Liverpool are ready to move decisively, and Jurgen Klopp is prepared to return. Slot's tenure has steadily drifted toward this cliff edge. When he was appointed, the club believed they had found a progressive coach capable of modernizing Liverpool's style, while preserving the emotional intensity that defined the Klopp era. There were early flashes of promise, but they were never sustained. Performances became uneven, confidence faded, and the team began to look unsure of its own identity. Matches that demanded authority were met with hesitation, and games that should have been controlled slipped away through familiar mistakes. The Marseille fixture has therefore taken on enormous significance. Senior figures inside the club view it as the final benchmark. Win and Slot may be granted time to stabilise the season. Fail, and the conclusion has already been drawn. The concern is not only about results, but about leadership. There is a growing belief that the players no longer respond instinctively to Slot's ideas. That belief has eroded, and that the connection between manager, squad, and supporters is weakening at a dangerous rate. Against this backdrop, the possibility of Jurgen Klopp's return has emerged not as a fantasy, but as a genuine contingency. Klopp's departure was emotional, dignified, and meant to be final. Yet those close to the former manager suggest his bond with Liverpool was never truly severed. He stepped away believing the club was in a stable position. Watching events unfold from a distance, he has reportedly remained in quiet contact with key figures at the club, offering perspective rather than interference. If Slot fails tonight, Klopp is understood to be open to returning, not out of nostalgia, but out of responsibility. He knows the club, the dressing room culture, and the expectations better than anyone. He also understands the urgency of the moment. Liverpool cannot afford drift. They cannot afford a prolonged search for direction while rivals surge ahead. Klopp represents certainty in a time of doubt. The players are acutely aware of the stakes. Many of them built their careers under Klopp, flourished in his demanding system, and trusted his leadership completely. There is a sense that his presence alone would restore clarity and intensity. While no player would openly undermine Slot, the emotional pull of Klopp's possible return is undeniable. For a squad searching for conviction, the idea of familiar authority is powerful. Slot, meanwhile, stands alone with the responsibility of the moment. He has spoken of belief, patience, and long-term vision, but football at